Welcome into the official. Okay, welcome back. We are continuing our series here on tight ends and the star index made especially for tight ends. Matt, good to see you on the show tonight. David is not with us. Before we get started, don't forget to like and subscribe to this video. We are looking at the 2023 freshman class. So these are guys who are rising second-year players, hopefully poised to make an impact for your fantasy teams and on college football as a second-year tight end. And what we've done here, if you haven't gotten up to speed on the star index, go watch previous videos, either the tight end video right before this or all the way back to the quarterback, running back, wide receiver videos that explain everything about the star index. But for right now, it's a metric we have that projects future NFL value, future production potential, looking at a lot of athleticism metrics and combining them into one number. Matt, I know you like Benjamin Brahmer. We've talked about him on the previous show. Matt was high on him way back when he was 210-pound, lanky guy going to Iowa State. Now he's filled out, looking like a potential breakout. I've already lamented Andrew Rappelier not doing much so far. No receptions to his credit here through now, I guess, 13 games of his career. Sam West is interesting. I remember kind of liking him. He is on a C2C squad of mine at Indiana, but has not done anything on the field just yet. But a 91.3 athleticism score says maybe hold him on your bench if you have him, or pick him up off waivers if your league has that too, which is probable that he would be sitting around. Kenyon Sadiq. All right, I'm going to throw it to you, Matt. What do you think? We talked about him, big athletic guy, and the star index here does back it up with an 85.2. Are you thinking this could be a breakout this year?
Yeah. I mean, so far it's looking like he had a pretty solid week one. He's a guy I did like him a good bit as a recruit. Very small tight end at that point, though. Only barely 200 pounds, and only I believe 6'2", maybe 6'3" on a good day. I mean, he was packed on the weight though. He's listed in the 240s, which is. I mean, that's quite a bit. I'm sure he arrived on campus, 215, 220, but 240 is fantastic already. It's going to be a bit short for NFL tight end in the future, but I do believe he does have NFL upside. He will test pretty good when it comes time for combine, and it was already looking like he's going to have the production as well too as a true sophomore. So pretty impressive. Well, actually, unless he redshirted last year, I'm not sure, to be honest.
Yeah, I don't know if he had anything. Looks like he played in all 14 games, so I don't think he redshirted. He caught 5 passes for 24 yards and a touchdown, but he played in all 14 games. I think he's interesting. He had 4 or 5 catches last week in week one of the college football season. Terrence Ferguson had 7. They may go to the tight ends a lot this year. I don't know. And if Terrence Ferguson goes down, who is a pretty good target hog as far as tight ends go, Sadiq is definitely a guy to either take over this year if Ferguson goes down, or play a lot next year and be a guy that you can count on for your college fantasy team. Kamorian Pimpton was surprising here. We really liked him. We thought he was big and athletic. I think his spark score was pretty good, but doesn't come across really high here on the star index. He was a big basketball player. We liked that, but was a Vandy commit, ended up going to LSU, hasn't done much so far at LSU. So we are still waiting on Pimpton.
I will say limited data on him. We have one reported 40 time, and it's not very good. But
okay,
he's a high school recruit tight end. That's kind of typical. So
yeah, we do the best we can with these. Some of these guys have incomplete numbers. Ideally, the more numbers we have, the better the score potential is, because we do take the best category for various different categories. So more data definitely helps with a more accurate score. When there's only one number we can find, we still put it into the database, but the score may not be as.
Correction. We actually don't have any speed testing.
Okay. So he doesn't even have a speed test.
He was a very good shot put and discus thrower in track and field. So that gets him this high.
Gotcha. Okay. So even one entry point of the speed would be nice, but he hasn't done it on the field either yet. So we're a little bit still waiting on Pimpton. And then Luke has. Matt, any thoughts on Luke Has? I mean, had a nice year for Arkansas, kind of came out of nowhere, pretty low ranked. I did like the tape. The star index, however, not super impressed with Luke Has.
Yeah, I mean, another guy I guess I could just use the excuse of not enough data for, but I do think he's definitely better than what we're giving him, than what the Star Index gives him credit for. Come combine, maybe it boosts up to 60th percentile, 70th. That would be nice to see too. But just not a guy that's going to dominate with his athleticism based on what we know now. So
also shorter side, under 6'3".
Yeah,
so that's
6'4".
That's
and we have one reported 4'8", 440. I mean, that could be very different now, very different combine. It's hard. It's really hard to rely on 40-yard dash times, until it comes combine time. So,
and we will be updating those, of course. We keep updating this. It's an evolving number. It's not set in stone, just so everyone knows. All right, so now we're going to go here to the 2024 class. These are current freshmen for the 2024 class. And like we mentioned before in the previous episode, Carter Nelson, amazing star index here, 97.6, highest in the whole country, even though he's a true freshman. Jaden Riddell is a 5-star guy, probably going to have to wait his turn at Georgia. Then you got Reiner Swanson, freshman at BYU. Jamie Trimble, freshman at Syracuse, with some nice scores here, 88 and 86 respectively. Matt, any thoughts on Swanson or Trimble? Is Swanson actually on campus? And a lot of time BYU guys don't show up for a few years as they go on their trip.
Yes, he is actually on campus now. He is deferring his mission trip until his sophomore season, I believe.
Okay.
So that'll be interesting. I mean, he came on campus and looked really good right off the bat, actually. I was a very big fan of him. If we were not dealing with the mission, he would have been a top 3 tight end for me more than likely. I'm a huge fan of his game. Hasn't been playing football very long, like a 5-sport athlete, super athletic, polished player. He's really, really good. So I think BYU hit a home run with that one. And, from last I saw, he was already looking really good in the summer practices. So I think there's a lot to look forward with that one.
Definitely a guy to keep an eye on. I just saw Cody Hagan is now on the roster.
Yeah.
I liked him a lot. I think he was one of the first Corner Canyon guys that I really liked. And, it's so much happens in these 2 years, but he is on campus. Hopefully he'll do something for the Cougars. And then a guy I really like this year, Gavin Hoffman, going to Iowa, but not a very sensational star index here. And you got 2 guys here, Davon Mitchell. I know you liked him going to Texas A&M, and Elijah Lofton going to Miami. Before we go to Mitchell, what?
Oklahoma for Mitchell.
Oh, yeah, sorry. Yeah, Mitchell going to Oklahoma. He was a late riser for us. I think he even was a class switch, moving up a class.
Yes, yeah.
But I'll mention Elijah Lofton because this came up in the, I believe it was the Campus to Canton Discord. Someone asking, should I hold on to Elijah Lofton? Do you think he could be a guy, NFL potential? The short answer is, NFL potential as a true freshman is really hard to say, I think, especially at tight end. But honestly, I pulled up the star index. I told the guy, I was like, hey, he's got a sub 50 star index right now. Not super sold on any tight end's NFL potential, but certainly not a guy like this. I would say if you have room, sure, go ahead and keep him, but he wouldn't be a priority roster spot for Elijah Lofton. So that's one example of how I may use star index in my personal roster building and things like that. Matt, did you have a thought on either that or Davon Mitchell with this number?
Yeah, well, just with Lofton, it doesn't like him because he's 6'1". He's built like a massive running back. So that's just naturally going to, and we still have, amazing testing. He is solid testing, but nothing that, is amazing. So I just don't think you're going to be able to make it in the NFL as a 6'1" tight end. That's just not. Give me an example of like someone who's done it.
You'd have to be like a Jonnu Smith or
even he's
2'6". Yeah. You'd have to be.
And if you're listed 6'1", he's probably 6 foot.
Yeah, and Vernon Davis was like, I think, a little bit maybe on the shorter side.
No, I think he was
hyper athletic guys. But you have to be
but he's not Vernon Davis.
Yeah, like a 4.44.
He is a very good player though. I do like him, especially. I think he's going to be a very productive college tight end.
Yeah,
it's just hard for me to be in on him, NFL side.
Unless
you get a coach that's just going to game plan for him and just put him in spots, but that's not going to happen. NFL. So.
Unlikely, unless you're like an athletic freak. They need to get you the ball. And then Mitchell, is he low because we don't have stats, or what's his deal? I know he's big, so maybe he's not that fast.
I think it's
50 pounds.
I think he's not very fast.
Yeah, 19.5.
I think he has a solid vertical.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shot put isn't very good, apparently.
It's the speed. I mean, 19.5 miles per hour, reported 4.77 40. That's really keeping him down.
Pretty low.
Crazy size and length, but
I mean, but I'd say 52 is not out of the question for a guy
and only a two-sport
faster and get bigger. So that's the 2024 class. Of course, we want to go ahead and look at 2025 because that's what we've already been doing this summer. And we will do that on the next episode of The Official.